Okay, here we are. I am using a 20-ounce prep cup from Craft Haven. This allows you to skip that whole sanding and prepping part, or if you skip it already, I'm not here to judge. I won't tell anybody. And then I'm going to mark my cup there about 3 inches up from the bottom, and take my line edging tool from the Amy's Make Everything and give myself a straight line to help me line up my vinyl evenly. And I marked my cup from 3 inches from the bottom so that way I can take my vinyl that I already cut about a little over 3 inches, so I can give myself some room on the bottom there to trim off the edge, and wrap your vinyl like usual just around the cup there, trim it off, and then you'll just take your cup edging tool and trim off your bottom nice and straight. Next step, take whatever tape you have on hand, electrical tape, masking tape. Start with the edge and getting that taped off, and then tape off the rest of the vinyl that is showing, so that way that is all covered for our next step. We're going to take just a little bit of epoxy. I only mixed up about 10 mLs because you want a nice, very thin layer, because we're going to place our glitter on using the epoxy method. So not a thick layer, very, very thin, just to get it coated. And grab whatever glitter colors you chose. You can use 3, you can use 5, you can use 2, you can use 1. I have 3 glitter choices that I chose, and just start sprinkling them on whatever way your little heart desires. Does not matter, does not need to be perfect. This is going to be the base layer for our peekaboo. Just go ahead and get all those spots covered, and then sprinkle your bottom. Everything should be covered on your cup. And then once you're all sprinkled, I took an extra fine glitter and just kind of placed that all over the cup just to fill in any gaps. And then when you're done with that, immediately peel off your tape so that way your epoxy doesn't adhere to that. Let your epoxy cure for the time suggested, and go ahead and seal your glitter. And use your epoxy of choice and epoxy all over your entire cup. My epoxy of choice is Mr. Nolas Speed Dry here. Then just take my torch and pop any bubbles and let her spin. Once that's cured, go ahead and give her a light sand until smooth. I just used a 220 grit. And now we are going to take our first stencil layer here of our peekaboos. I just used a stencil vinyl. It lays down flat, comes up easy, it works perfectly fine. So go ahead and place your snowflakes however you see them fit. This is the part where you will see the glitter underneath. So whatever parts you want to see, place this first stencil there. I'm just going to trim the ones that are not over my glitter there on the top edge of the cup, and then place some tape down on my vinyl line so that way I can get a nice straight trimming edge there for me to peel off the ones that are over the vinyl. And now go ahead and wrap her up again like you did before, just that vinyl pieces that are showing, because now we're going to go ahead and spray paint. Okay, I lied. I actually taped off my bottom too. I don't want that painted. And just like that, she spray painted white. Any white will work. After you do spray paint, let it fully dry before you move on to this tack it method. We do not want to go over it with tack it until the spray paint is completely dry. Then we take our tack it and just rub it all over the white part. If you get a little bit on the tape, that's okay, but just stay on the white part. Once your tacket's on, let that dry, and then we're going to go ahead with some micas that I have from Woody's Goodies, and I just chose a few different colors here. And this is where you can just let your creativity just take control. I just take a soft brush and just place these different makeup powders on. However, there really is no creative word on this technique on how I place these. I just kind of dip my brush in, rubbed them on in different little strokes there. Don't worry about rubbing them in yet. Just place some colors on wherever you want to place them, and then we're going to take our bigger brush and just kind of blend them all in together and get the excess off. Once they're on, take your bigger brush or your finger and just go ahead and blend them all in. Then we'll go ahead and apply tacket right over the top of that. Let the tacket dry again to go ahead and place some foil flakes and some chunky glitter flakes over top of this layer. So while I place the foil, I don't worry about rubbing it in yet. I just kind of place it where I see fit and get it all down first. And then I take my finger and I go back through and then I rub them all down. And remember, while you are placing these foils and everything on, these stencils are still there and we will be peeling those up. So go ahead and place all your little pieces down around your stencils because the stencils will be coming up. So whatever you place on top of those will not be there anymore. While I was adding these foils, I thought some chunky glitter would be just perfect to add a little bit extra to this. So then I just sprinkled a few pieces on with my hand and then just rubbed it in again to lay them flat like I did with the foils. And once you're happy with how that all looks, go ahead and spray seal it with a clear coat spray sealer and let it completely dry. And then we will go ahead and peel up our stencil pieces. Now our clear spray sealer is completely dry. That just helps from anything shifting while we're peeling up our stencils. This part is very time consuming, so just take your time, be patient with it while we're peeling that up. Try not to hit the edges or rub the edges too hard because we just want to keep that nice and straight still and peel all those pieces up that we laid down before. And we're back for our second coat of epoxy here. You already know my choice of epoxy, so get that on. And if you have any of your chunky glitter shifted like I did right there, just go ahead, take a silicone stick, pop it out, let it spin again, hit it with your torch, and you're good to go. Okay, once your epoxy is dry, one more light sand over to go ahead and move on into our outlines. So just place your outlines on, I just used a piece of transfer tape to help me go ahead and line those up perfectly. And I did leave some of the smaller little pieces on, so that way I can just weed them off onto the cup, because it's easier sometimes that way when the pieces are really small. Weeding them on the cup helps you get them off a lot easier. Oh, she's looking so cute, and now we can finally move on to the striping. So I'm definitely laying one vinyl strip where the vinyl ends, and then I decided to place some more striping there to give it a little bit more detail underneath this silver stripe that you'll see next. But go ahead and stripe this however you see fit and make it your own, and I'm sure it'll be just lovely. I'm always going to check to see if I have any nail type colors to match, and I do for this one. This blue just matched that foil color perfectly, so of course I had to use it, and I'm placing that down next, and then I place some silver and then another blue, and I just love the way it turned out. And now we're going to get our quick coat from Counterculture, and we're going to go ahead and rub it all over our vinyl pieces first, and then I just rub it over the entire cup to give it a nice seal, and it also really helps with your last final coats of epoxy. And for my final coat of epoxy, I added a little bit of microfine cheat glitter here from It's Pretty Personal to give it that extra little sparkle pizzazz over top, and it is beautiful. Just mix a tiny little bit into your epoxy and place it right on your cup. And she'll be glistening like snow. Does snow glisten? I don't even know. I live in Florida. We don't have snow, but these snowflakes will be. And I give you this pink, frosty winter wonderland. I don't know what to call it, but she is a beauty, and I really wish we had some colder weather here in Florida, because I really, really, really want to go play in some snow and some snowflakes looking at this cup. And thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This was a fun one to make. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I cannot wait to be back for more.